What's going on? I am officially a minute early. I'll clap for myself because I have been late the entire week. So, dubs in the chat, So, it just kind of felt important to be today, for me today to, yeah, man, to make it early for the stream. I think in last night's video, I said we were gonna watch the non-farm payrolls movement, but then also that was just gonna be an extra 30 minutes of chart time. So, you know, uh, yeah, I figured maybe we could just talk about it before before market open. Yeah, but yeah, what's going on? What's good? I hope you're well. I hope you're doing all right. Already pre-drawn the levels, already pre-drawn the levels and marked out yesterday's volume profile. So again, 9:30 to 4 p.m. Right? I'd actually do it to 15:59. So that's yesterday's value. Our previous day value area high is at 611.75. A point of control is at 606.50, 606.25. And our value area low is at 564.50. So quite a massive gap from the point of control to to the value area low. And then our Globex session, from 6 p.m. EST. All the times are going to be in EST from now. So I figured it'd be easier to convert, in time, depending on where you're watching from. Because if my time is 3:15 in the afternoon. So, and I'm GMT 2. So if you are CAT 7, how do you work that out? You just subtract 5. But I mean, it's like too much tinkering. So I just figured, look, let's just keep the time. Let's use New York time, because that's what everyone is trading, right? That's when the New York session is, from 9 a.m. anyway. So just keep it like that, and then you guys can convert according to your own time zone, right? And then also, I think it's just gonna make it easier for whomever, when you watch the stream, whenever you can just be like, oh, 10:30, that was 2:30 my time, so. But yeah, so I drew out the Globex volume profile 6 p.m. right up till now. So just kind of waiting, just gonna wait for the open. Yeah, we're below value area low now, so could be a pretty bullish day. I don't want to front run it and just start thinking shorts, but if we don't claim within this value area, overnight value area high, overnight point of control, overnight value area low, if we don't claim within, then yeah, we'll see how the previous week's point of control acts. Does that provide support? And then, yeah, if we don't, then, maybe a previous week value area low plays is an order. Maybe that could happen. Another thing that's kind of giving me a little bit of like bearish bias is, let's go through it one by one. Switch the big trades off. We can keep that on because the session hasn't started. Yeah, so one, Keltner channels. Yeah, remember we spoken about this a couple of times. The SMA, this SMA is a 5-minute SMA. Yeah, so it's a 20 moving average using 5-minute candles, but I am looking at it on a 1-minute chart. Moving average, yeah, is basically averaging the last 20 candles, but the last 25-minute candles. So I get, the reason why I'm using the 5 minute is because then I get an extended average, right? I get a larger average of the price, right? Yeah, that's why I'm using that. And then, oops, my camera keeps on switching off, bro. I might actually need to think about using the front camera. I don't want to do that though. We will see. We'll see how it goes. But yeah, so using the moving average, 5 minute moving average on a 1 minute chart. Another reason why I'm using this is because this reacts a lot cleaner as a time frame on the S&P. I've tried it with the 15 minute. The 15 minute works better on NQ. But yeah, let me just show y'all some trade secrets. You know, this is me refining this to my own trading style. So again, middle period, that's 20. So again, 20 moving average, right? The ATR period, so that's like 10, right? So I'm using an ATR of 10. Okay, so the upper range is 2.5. That's 2.5 times 10, all right? And that will be the distance from there to there. Yeah, there's nothing else to it, really. I don't use any of these other things. I could show, like, you know, these arrows when the bands touch, but I have eyes. I can see when the band touches. You know what I mean? It's kind of counterintuitive. So yeah, so that's the Keltner channel and the N. Yeah, why was I showing you this again? Yeah, just to kind of say, like, wow, my bias is bearish right now, you know, because we're below the 20 SMA on that, the 20 moving average on that. And then also, we are also below the VWAP. Yeah, you know, we're below the VWAP now. That VWAP didn't look like that when we had it on. Let's just switch it off and on again. I'm pretty sure it didn't look like that. Or am I tripping? I will trust you. And then again, yeah, because we're below the VWAP, you know. So, that's why my bias is bearish. You know, so possibly selling the VWAP if we get there. Either one of them. The New York VWAP hasn't come on yet because the New York session hasn't started. So, still waiting on that. And then, yeah, and then big trades. Keep the big trades on. Lots of selling. This was that NFP thing that came out. Nothing more to it. And that's pretty much it. That's all the analysis so far. Nothing to really talk about beyond that. I do want to see if non-farm payrolls. I don't even know what it means, to be honest. Previous was 179,000, consensus 85, actual 172. I'm guessing it wasn't good because we got that drop in price. And yeah, and we do not have any other news, any other high impact news today. So yeah, so we're in the clear. No surprises, hopefully. We shall have no surprises, I hope. I think. Yeah, 6 minutes until they open. it's also just kind of a habit for me to check if the live is living. You know what I mean? I just also want to make sure that the stream is actually live. Because I did at one point I hit broadcast on my OBS and I thought it was live, but it wasn't. So that was awkward, to say the least. But yeah, the stream seems healthy. Everything seems like it's going okay off that. Yeah. 5 minutes until the open. We'll just wait and see what we're gonna get, what type of activity we get today. We're actually like making some really strong movement towards the point of control, towards the previous week point of control. So we might see an open here, you know. Logically, I mean, that's, I want to say it's the closest point, but I mean the overnight value area low is closer, but we've kind of already tested that several times. Did it look below and fail, and then we rallied up to the point to the POC, and then we went below the value area low again. So and then we broke that low, you know. So next logical place to check in the auction would be the previous week point of control, which should be at a very extended point as far as like the Keltner channel is concerned. But you know, again, like the indicators aren't moving price, right? Like the indicators are all lagging, right? Maybe besides the volume, maybe besides the volume profile, you know, and big trades. But also, I guess if you think about it, it kind of is lagging in the sense that, like, say, let's take big trades, for example. Once we print big trades, like once we had like this 346, right? That's 346 market orders that hit the market at this time. We got that information, but we didn't get the information before, right? We got the information just as. But even though we got it just as, there's still whatever microseconds it takes to get to us. So in a way, like every indicator is lagging, right? Just some lag more than others, you know. Volume is real time, because for every order, like we're using, you'll see if you're using TradingView, you'll see there's a difference. There might be a difference between our volume profiles, right? And that difference is going to be because I'm using tick data, right? So for every movement, for every tick, right, it's giving me that information, that volume, right? Whereas on TradingView, it's not using tick data, it's using historical data, historical price. So small difference, but even if you throw anything that's volume on TradingView, it's going to be somewhat different from what you're seeing on my chart. My chart would be a lot more accurate. So would I recommend investing in Motive Wave? Yeah, if you can get Motive Wave, get it. Probably the best way to get it right now would be to get a Lucid Flex account. So if you like, you know, go and get a prop firm account, with Lucid, and then you select Rhythmic as your provider. You know, you either have TradingView and Tradeovate and NinjaTrader, and then the other option would be Motive Wave, Rhythmic, and TradeC. You know, so we're using TradeC in like the top left window. That's TradeC. That's what you're seeing over there. You get me? You get me? Yeah. So that's our volume profile locked, yo. Those are overnight. Let's call them Globex. I like the word Globex. That's our Globex levels set. Would be nice, Motorwave, if you didn't glitch. But yeah, this is being a little glitchy. That's kind of worrying. But we'll make it through. We did this the other day. But yeah, this is the open. Officially 9:30. We do need to make. I mean, not let me not force it, but we need to make a trade today. We missed a day yesterday. If there's nothing for us, there's nothing for us. But it would be nice to close the week with a trade and one that actually wins. You know, we've had 2 non-trading days, which, you know, why am I even here? You know what I mean? Why am I even? What am I even doing? I'm not trying to make a little bit of money. You know what I mean? And also, y'all are gonna start thinking that I'm scammy because I'm just out here looking at charts and not actually making any winning trades. So, yeah. So today we need to. We need to get some. We need to get some. Someone asked me why I don't use why not why I don't, but why I trade using the 1 minute chart. And yeah, I just thought it'd be interesting also to just kind of talk about it today on stream. You know, because I get like this looks really noisy. You know, it does look like a lot is going on, of which that would be an accurate assessment. A lot is actually going on. But the 1 minute is really granular. I mean, we could go even deeper. We could go into a 15 second, which is crazy. You know, the reason why I use the reason why I use 1 minute charts is the 1 minute time frame is because of its granularity, and also just for like precision as far as like my entries are concerned. Because remember, I'm trying to like enter right at places of value. So right at 53975, not at 54025. So I'm not making like general around an area entry. I'm making right at a level entry. You know, it also helps with my risk management because then, you know, I can be really, I can really fine tune my my exits, you know what I'm saying, my stops and all that. So yeah, that's why I use the 1 minute. Yeah, and also just like with like some entries, like if you're using the 5 minute, and then you know you're waiting for say a 5 minute close, right? 5 minutes, 5 minutes, 5 minutes, 5 minutes. You're waiting for the 5 minute close, and sometimes your entries within that 5 minute bar, but you just missed it because you just saw you know, like an entire candle without the information within that candle. You know, for sure. Like, so say for example, this doji candle, right? Wick on the top, wick at the bottom, small little block. You know, on a 5 minute candle, you would have a lot more information than just looking at the candle as is. You know, so that's why. Yeah, so we didn't get a test of the previous week point of control, but let's see if we break overnight value area low. Yeah, let's see if we get that. If we do, I would like value to shift the overnight value area low, and then if we do get a retest of it, I will enter there. Motivate was like, oh, will you? I will. Don't be playing with me. Yeah. So again, we're just waiting for we're just waiting for that 15 minute window to close, and then we'll start looking at possible entries. Yeah, I don't like it when we're between VWAPs, but yeah, I just don't like it. I don't like it. You know, Reason being, because I know we've sold the Globix VWAP, but now we're buying this VWAP. So it's like there's two different types of market participants, right? There's MPs, that's what we're gonna call them from now on. There's MPs who are buying this VWAP, but then also before that there were MPs, the market participants. I mean, let's not say MPs because it's gonna sound political now. I don't want that type of smoke. Yeah. So I mean, like, there's people buying this, and then there's people selling that, and so on. Being in the middle is just kind of like tossing a coin. Getting in here would be like immediately you need to get out there. So that's why I don't like being in between volume weighted average price indicators. Yeah. And also, I really hope we don't get like a rotational day, because that would not be fun. That would not be fun. Because at some point we are gonna have to figure out how we take those trades. How we take you sell the overnight value area high, and then you buy the overnight value area low. You know. Yeah, if we do get if we do get a test of this, I would like to see how we break. Do we just like hit it and then we don't get a retrace, or do we flush right through it? 53975. Let's look at the DOM. Let's look at the order book. Oh, what? What was that? Oh yeah, my orders. Yeah, we are kind of getting a lag again. Okay, we won't stress that much, because I mean it is only, we do have another 7 minutes. Okay, there we go. Now we are on time. All right. 15. How I'm checking whether we're on time is like the timestamp. I'm looking at the seconds. So 21, 23, 24, 25. As long as that matches what's at the bottom, then we're good. What I do have a problem with, though, is how and why I'm not able to see the bids here. Because I mean, I don't. It's not a train smash, but I want to see the bids. And if I can't see them here, I probably won't see them on the order book either. See, the order book's not even showing. Should we risk it? Okay, anyway, here we are. Let's just trade the levels. We won't have too much of a look at the order book, I guess. Maybe we'll just have a look at time and sales. But yeah, it would have been interesting to see if we had any resting orders there, and if they were being cleared or not. Now that I've said that, I really want to see it now. I really want to see that, though. Okay. Yeah, let's disconnect you. Come on. Don't be shy. Maybe I shouldn't have disconnected it. Maybe. Connect. Indian. Hey, Jesha, what's going on? Good morning, my brother. Good morning, good morning, good morning. I hope you're having a good one so far, man. Maybe I shouldn't have closed. Maybe I shouldn't have closed my motor wave. Okay, let's just restart it. You know, not a train smash. It's gonna look a little weird. 1 second, guys. Yeah, let's close that. The dogs are going crazy. The dogs are going buck wild. Yeah. Okay. Let's see. At least we still have like 5 minutes before our window's officially open. So, you know, we're not really missing much. It's just because I got, you know, got a little. My OCD kind of kicked in. Que sera, sera. What will be, will be. It's just you and the sea. Que sera, sera. Oh, well, that's not good because now this nigga does not even want to show anything at all. We'll give you another 20 seconds, dude. And then honestly, we'll have to restart you again. We'll have to restart you again. Maybe I shouldn't have switched it off the first time. Nope. Yes, I want to shut down motive wave. Will we? Oh, fuck. We're gonna do an install of motive wave right now. Imagine that. Yes, continue, install. We need to have a conversation with motive wave, you know what I'm saying? Because how are we doing installs during, you know what I'm saying? During market hours. Like, that's so unprofessional. It makes me look unserious, you know? In that time, yeah, but we just did the install and the update, so hopefully we should be good now, so let's see. 2 more minutes until the window opens. Yeah. Okay, let's give that another try. Excuse me. This is a lesson in patience. Hurry up and wait. In the meantime, let's have a look. I guess we'll just have a look at, where are you? Yeah, so it does look like we flushed the point of control, right? Because the point of control was around here. So maybe a retest of it. And that's the previous week's point of control. If we can get this baby over here to show some, that would be great. I really don't have that type of patience, to be honest. Yeah, and we did flush. We did flush right through in that point of control. Maybe that's alright still. Maybe that will give us an opportunity to yeah, maybe that'll give us an opportunity to sell it on the retest. Yeah, it's 15:45, 9:45. That's our window open. I swear, like my motorwave is still glitching though. What's up with that? Yeah, nothing on that. That is super strange. And we really can't restart the laptop because otherwise we restart the stream. Come on, dude. Wow. Okay, let's give it one more restart and then yeah, let's give it another restart and see if it works this time around. Come on. I think I genuinely might actually need to restart the laptop. That's so fucking awkward. All right, guys. I'm gonna stop the stream and then I'm gonna bring it back by 4 p.m. So I'm gonna bring it back in 12 minutes. Let me just restart the motive wave so we can actually trade. Yeah. All right. I'll see you guys in 12 minutes.